Okay, good morning everybody. Thank you very much for coming today. So today we are going to continue our course. There is another 5 modules. Up until yesterday kita dah cover sampai fire alarm lah. Today is going to be a bit dry because you're going to look for the system and you're going to look on the technical part of the firefighting system lah. First, for this morning, we'll look the design and principle for hose reel system. So kita ada kawan baru lah yang baru sampai. So you miss a lot semalam. Semalam dia study about fire science lah. Fire science is more on fire. The system semalam kita sentuh only one system lah, fire detection and alarm system. Lain tu fire risk, it's all about the science thing lah. Tapi it's okay, we continue. So for hose reel, dia akan ada pecahan pada 4 topics. The first one is introduction and design standard to hose reel system. The second one, components in hose reel system. The third one is designing hose reel system, and of course the fourth one will be the conclusion for the topics. We are going for the first one, introduction and design standards. Untuk hose reel, I think everybody knows, right? Kalau yang dah bekerja ni, biasanya hose reel yang the most yang kita biasa nampak lah. Sebab hose reel boleh digunakan oleh orang awam. Sebab it is also a first aid yang kita tahu. It's almost the same like extinguisher, but yet it need a connection to a water supply lah. Beza dia. Introduction. Okay, in hose reel, firefighting equipment consists of a length of tubing fitted with a shut-off nozzle and attached to a reel with a permanent connection to a pressurized water supply. Hose reel system is intended for the occupant to use during early stage of fire and generally serve as initial firefighting aid. Sadah, kalau yang tuan rasanya saya biasa kot buat testing hose reel biasa pakai lah, biasa main. Maksudnya pernah operate hose reel? Okay, tapi pernah operate lah, Oh belum. Okay.
Teman saya buat assembly, kita nak lah.
Apa you bro? Tak pernah.
Touch.
Touch.
Operate.
Pusing tu tak ada.
Pusing tak pernah pegang-pegang.
Tak pernah. Apa you? Pernah on. Pernah test ke you cadet bomber masa ni? Masa universiti.
Ya, bomber pernah.
You cadet? Bukan. You cadet bomber? Meaning in the school or in the university time you are joining the cadet bomber, like tangkap, you biasa no?
No. Bomber testing ada pernah.
Oh, you pernah pergi dah bomber testing? Okay, so you dah lagi lama daripada diorang ni lah tu
Ada.
Oh, okay. Okay lah. Okay. Okay. Jadi dekat hose reel biasanya yang kita pegang tu nozzle lah. So the nozzle can be adjusted as what we want lah. Maksudnya either you want to have a jet spray or ataupun a white spray. Itu depends lah. Kalau untuk kita selamat, maknanya kita nak jarak tu, of course we need to have a jet spray lah. Tapi wider spray sebenarnya bagus juga sebab dia seal banyak heat banyak akan terperangkap, and then when we absorb heat, of course we can distinguish the fire also. Biasanya hose reel dia datang macam ni lah. Dia ada break glass, sebelah dia macam saya cakap semalam. Atas ni selalunya ada sounder, sebelah dia mesti ada extinguisher. Because this is the first aid lah. Kalau you datang, jumpa berlaku kebakaran, pecah break glass kan. Itu adalah detektor yang pertama lah, selain daripada automatic detector. Sebenarnya dalam dunia ni, what is the best fire detector? What is the best? Lupa saya nak tanya semalam. Saya tanya hari ni, what is the best fire detection system? sistem. What is the best fire detector lah. Tak kisahlah ada sistem ke, non sistem ke, manual ke, automatic ke. Jawab je. Terus je.
Kalau orang tahu dia terus.
Apa tadi?
Orang nak baca terus.
Human is the best fire detector lah. Maksudnya, whenever you have a place, if you have human there, it is the best fire detector. Tak ada asap pun dia boleh nampak fire. Walaupun kecil, dia pun nampak api. Dia boleh padamkan. And of course, it is the best lah. Cuma kita pun ada drawback. As a human, kita ada masa untuk rehat. Of course, kita tak boleh 24 jam untuk jadi guard ni kan. Guard pun ada shift dia lah. So, the best fire detection is human lah. That's why manual call point ni kita takkan boleh eliminate. So, takkan boleh eliminate. Walaupun you got automatic detection system dalam satu-satu bangunan, you also need to have the manual one. Unless kalau memang tak ada orang masuk dalam bangunan tu, then yeah, kita okay.
Tapi boleh duduk sekejap sebab saya nak agak gambar. Saya sampai tu.
Saya jawab.
Okay. Detection. Okay. Guard kan?
Yes.
Guard untuk detection. Of course lah, human is the best for detection.
Okay.
Kita tak kena ada. Walaupun sistem yang lain ada, of course manual must be there lah. Sebab kalau kita nampak api yang kecil, kita tak boleh bisa kelas walaupun detection lain boleh detect lah. Okay, hose wheel, fire hose wheel are located at strategic places in buildings to provide reasonable, accessible and controlled supply of water for extinguishing. Normally, when you go to the shopping mall or shopping complex, the largest shopping complex, can you identify the hose wheel location? Kalau pergi Mid Valley, kat mana? Takkanlah orang kat sini tak pernah pergi Mid Valley. Kat mana dia punya hose wheel? Tak perasan kan? Tak nampak pun hose wheel?
Tak pergi mana.
Tak
Job fair.
job fair je lah. Kalau job fair, you akan naik dekat tingkat atas sekali tu, you akan naik kat Dewan Exhibition Hall, betul? Sebab dulu kita punya office kat Mid Valley, lepas tu siapa tu? Jadi, masa you pergi kat situ, you perasan hose wheel dekat mana? Dekat Mid Valley. Tak perasan? Tak perasan kan? That's mean you tak nampak hose wheel dia. Kan? Hose wheel riser dia dekat mana? Dekat dengan dia letak satu dekat escalator tu, tapi that hose wheel sebenarnya dia dalam compartment. Dia hanya recess. Dia tak perasan dia ada dalam riser dalam compartment tu, dia ada tunjukkan satu signage dia kat tepi. Dia tak nampak. Normally hose wheel, people will do it like this lah, bare. Tapi most of the shopping mall, shopping complex, they won't like to do it like this because nampak tak cantik lah. Tak estetik. Tapi kalau you pergi dekat main place Puchong, bukan Puchong, Subang Jaya, main place yang LDP tu kan, dekat main place sebelah Bismillah, depan LDP Mahala Shah Alam tu, dekat situ dia buat macam ni. Dia buat macam ni juga, tapi ni ada gambar kartun warna merah, dekat sini semua dia lukiskan kartun. Dia buat macam mural. Dia bukanlah camouflage sangat, cuma dia buat mural yang menjadikan this thing look not awkward lah. Very nice to see lah, like that. Jadi depends macam you all, if you provide a hose wheel, tapi make sure it identifiable lah, it's recognizable. Maksudnya orang tengok, oh okay, kita tahu this is hose wheel. Janganlah sampai hose wheel tu orang tak tahu that is the hose wheel lah, because we need to share that all the occupant, orang yang lalu lalang pun tahu hose wheel ada kat situ. Kalau macam the video that we went through yesterday kan, if you don't know the hose wheel, you memang tak boleh nak padam video. The system is manually operated and activated by opening a valve, enabling the water flow into the hose that normally used to fight a small fire. Of course, saya cakap semalam, kita tak boleh lawan lah kalau api itu dah besar. Design standard. For hose reel, ni dia banyak. 1447, 1489. 1489 adalah for us to design the system lah. 1489 chapter part 1, chapter part 1 to design the hose. And there are other things yang dia akan ada berkait. The standard is about the drum itself, the hose itself, and yang tu link lah. Maksudnya the hose kena boleh tahan berapa pressure, the drum berapa size. Itu is not in 1.9 lah. 1.9 is for the design. Next, we are going to look in component in hose reel system. Hose reel is a very paling simple lah, sistem yang paling simple. You ada air, you ada hose, you ada valve.
Ganda Razor yang paling Ganda Razor yang simple.
Oh, dry riser simple lagi, tapi but it's not meant to use by the occupant. Only ERT team je yang guna kan. Kalau dry riser ada pipe ke dengan valve, betul kan? Okay, component in hose reel system. The first one we have water tank, and then we have water pump, piping system, and hose reel system. Nowadays, Bomba I am foreseeing all the pumps need to follow the regulation by Malaysian Standard MS 2616 KMK, kelengkapan mencegah kebakaran. So all the pump need to follow MS 2616 lah. But for hose reel system, you also need to follow the MS 2616. But in MS 2616, it's been spelled out that the hose reel pump doesn't require the shock test lah. Apa beza shock test dengan? Masih saya cakap kita kena comply with MS 2616. And you punya pandangan mesti kita kena guna yang mana shi ke? Bukan tu. Kita guna maksudnya for hose reel system, you tak perlu buat shock test. You just buat the C1, C2, C3. Shock test tu kena buat, cuma dia taklah stringent sehingga macam you want for sprinkler system lah, dengan wet riser system. Hose reel is just a pump that comply with 2616 and been fire rated approval lah. That's all. Maknanya UL boleh pakai, but then masa you install, masa you test, you kena follow MS2616 punya regulation. You as a supplier, saya nak tanya kan, you all dah baca ke MS2616? Yang pasang saya okey. yang kod harga pernah baca? Baca lah, dia simple aja, cuma in there, then you can show with the boss. You kata, boss sebenarnya hose reel kita boleh pakai pump E. You got for the low price lah. Kalau yang mana C tu dia jadi mahal sikit. Bukan yang monopoly kan. Sebab sebelum ni, when it was an open market, dia banyak pump. Bara, Grand Force pun ada, ULFM kan. Bila dia dah yang main ULFM tak, you boleh pasang lah ULFM. Boleh pasang dengan syarat design by the engineer must follow NFPA. NFPA standard it ties up with ULFM. So whenever you see a drawing, dia tikkan pada approval bomber dekat drawing, at the lowest part of the drawing there must be a code being used. Dia akan letak sebelah drawing ni macam ni kan. See? Dia akan letak kat hujung tepi ni. Betul? Betul biasa tengok dia akan tick drawing. Of course Malaysian standard is there. But then kena tengoklah, kalau macam when you code for shopping mall yang terlalu besar, normally the shopping mall dia tak comply with MS. Kadang-kadang dia pakai NFPA. When they design with NFPA, kalau dia tick NFPA, you code for ULFM. Boleh tak? Boleh kan? Boleh. Saya lihat lah. That is the difference lah. So aware lah about this. If you aware then it's good lah. Sebab tak semua, walaupun saya kata bomba kena pakai itu, it's not all lah. Because some of the project They require MS. Even though the regulation, the law says that we must use MS first, tapi bila for certain building is not covered under UBTL, dia orang akan design guna NFPA. Because NFPA ni dia punya design wider lah. Dia boleh cover. Sebenarnya boleh design pakai apa nama, MS Malaysian standard. It's how you play around it lah. Saya ada jumpa satu engineer, designer, engineer AW PMP 118 pun dia buat sprinkler system using MS. Dia buat stacking system, so the pump will follow the MS lah. Maknanya dia are several step of the sprinkler system. Okay, boleh buat apa? Depend on the designer. So you as the one who code for the things, code for the very system punya equipment, you also need to know which standards are people are using. Either it is Malaysian standard or NFPA lah. Normally in Malaysia got two lah. Last one yang berbeza pun Australian standard. Australian standard normally kita rujuk for wet chemical. Selalunya wet chemical kita gunakan NFPA 21 kalau tak silap saya. Nanti check balik NFPA normally. Tapi there are some designer they are referring to Australian standard. Itu depends on the designer lah. So dekat sini kita boleh tengok pump untuk hose reel. Since you all dah biasa dengan hose reel, what is this size, the maximum size of the pump? Maximum size of the tank.
244.
Tak pasal? Kalau you perasan lah, jangan kira. Selalunya yang melintang berapa, menegak berapa? 8. Besarnya. Kecil je. Oh, 8 kaki. 2.44 kali 2 kali 2. Maksudnya 2 panel kali 2 panel. Dia selalunya 3 panel, 1 kali 2 kali 3. Dia 6. Sebab dia tu 9,100. The old standard saying that you must have a maximum of 9,100 liter. Confident dia dia standard. Okay. Tapi dalam standard baru 2023 dia dah berubah. Baru lagi. You boleh beli balik nanti, you buka masuk JSM, Jabatan Standard Malaysia. You beli standard, kita punya office beli RM70 je. Malaysia standard under Jabatan Standard Malaysia. Dalam MS yang terbaru tu dia maximum is 7,200 lah. 7,200 effective capacity for the tank. Yang tu saya akan spell out saja. Saya nak tulis Jabatan Standard Malaysia. Yes. Dekat sini ada MSOL lah nanti. Nanti you tengok dalam tu Malaysian Standard Online. Belilah secara, boleh dibeli secara PDF ataupun hard copy. This one saya rasa yang ni simple, yang ni boleh beli. Ada dua lah standard. Kalau saya rasa you all kena baca 3 lah kot sprinkler, hose reel dengan 2616 pump. Yang lain tu kalau macam dry riser, wet riser, sebab you tak terlibat dengan design dia, ada banyak yang berkaitan ni. Hose reel this is too common kan, sebab you all memang akan banyak. Paling kecil apa, sekecil-kecil projek normally ada hose reel, unless you buat rumah kedai kat fire extinguisher dia yang satu shop lot, satu dia kecil kan. So when you have the standard, then only you can quote for the best price of it lah. So you know yang mana nak buat. Jadi dalam Malaysia standard yang terbaru tadi dia dah ada perubahan sedikit lah. Walaupun begitu kita masih boleh pakai 2 times 3 times 2. 2 kali 3 6 6 7 12. So ada 12 lah. 2 3 2 3 6. Ini satu panel bagi 2 panel. 2.44 times 3.66 times 1.2. Betul? 3 kali 2 kali 1. Dia ataupun you nak buat 3 tinggi, 2 lebar, 1 tepi. Contoh saya biasa buat. Okay, dia soalan yes.
Tanya ada satu standard macam apa sistem multiply to tank, macam satu tank multiply 2.
Boleh. But then it's not for hose reel only lah. That is the case where you have a sprinkler system, with hose reel system at the same building. Maksudnya bila ada sprinkler, of course sprinkler is varies lah, depends on what type of the building and what is the OH you use and how high the building is. For instance, you got tank. This is aerial view lah. Kita tengok daripada atas kan. For example, there are some designer, bila dia buat tangki, the tank is designed like this. For example lah, bila kita kira capacity untuk sprinkler system, kira-kira yang X ni dah cukup dah cover untuk sprinkler system. Sebagai contoh lah, take an example 10,000 liter lah, 10,000 liter. Bila saya kira-kira 10,000 liter yang macam ni, saya dah boleh cater lah untuk buat sprinkler system. So saya pun nak jimatkan ruang because space is very expensive. Sebab when we talk about space, you need to have wall, you need to have floor, you need to have slab. Benda tu, it's all cost. For you, you quote untuk tank dengan pipe je. Tapi for quantity surveyor, they quote for everything. So if you increase, you katakan tiba-tiba you nak buat macam ni, you nak letak tangki ni, nak letak sebelah ni, it is a cost for quantity surveyor. So the best way what engineer do, they combine the tank, tapi there is a separate wall here. Dalam tangki tu kita ada letak wall, memang ada wall dekat situ. Dia akan ikat lah kat sini. Dia ada you install tu dalam tu dia ada macam ada tie up untuk kita ikatkan tangki tu, wall tu. Ikat sebelah ni, ikat sebelah lah. Ini ikat tie wall ni macam ni. So this part, it is for hose reel. Dia akan ada lah satu keluar kat sini. Yang ni, pipe ni, kalau kita susun pump ni semua kat sini. Yang ni pula pump untuk sprinkler. So it is a combined tank. Memang combined, you see it combined, but internally it's not combined. You need to separate both tanks. Sebab apa? Because for sprinkler system, dia ada filling rate dia sendiri. Maksudnya air yang masuk tu berbeza dengan hose reel. Kadar air masuk. So you punya question tadi, there are people doing like this, yes, it is acceptable by bomber and permittable by the law. Cuma you need to have the separator lah. Faham Menjawab, did I answer your question?
My question is not this.
Okay.
My question is because you see the slide, right? The slide, 2 tank is separate, so incoming got 2, outgoing also got 2.
Okay.
My question is, can I combine?
Can?
Hose reel is
Hose reel can.
Can combine, right?
Can combine.
Have a standard say need to separate tank
No.
to incoming like that. No.
Normally, we do a separation when we have a system like sprinkler and wet riser. Because when you do a maintenance for a bigger tank like that, for a hose reel it's just a very small one. So you know when you service a hose reel, you can have a backup system, which is your backup is extinguisher, no problem. Or you can plan for it so that you can service the hose reel system whenever there are nobody inside the building, no problem. However, for a big tank like wet riser and sprinkler, it is an automatic system for the sprinkler, and it is for bomber punya usage di wet sprinkler, di wet riser, right? Jadi sistem tu walaupun you service, it must have standby. So because of the capacity of the tank also, you need to have the separation for the system. Maksudnya normally hose reel dia memang besar, and you need to have a separation system. That's why you have two incoming. Satu because of this, satu lagi because of the filling rate lah. Ni sama. Yes. Kalau sprinkler, normally we will separate the tank. We will have two compartment. Kalau hose reel, no problem, one compartment is enough. Ada je yang buat dua incoming, and there are people who just make it one lah, tak ada masalah tu. Because dalam standard dia sebut bersaiz 50 meter, 50 millimeter. Okay? So, kalau you tengok dekat sprinkler dengan wet riser, dia kena ada dua. Normally dia kena ada dua. Satu lagi sprinkler dia kena ada masuk with breaching inlet lah. Dia kena ada combine with breaching inlet. Simple pun biasa tengok kan, pump, key, semua. Soalan? Okay? Okay. Alright. Hose reel water tank. This is the latest punya, saya ambil yang latest punya ni lah. Latest punya standard. Minimum capacity is 5,400 liter. The maximum is 7,250 liter for the storage tank. Sufficient for 1 hour operation for the hose reel pump. The tank should be automatically supplied from a town main controlled by a ball valve, a minimum diameter 50 mm. Ini semua dari standard. Macam mana kita boleh dapat 5,400 liter tu? Kita akan tengok nanti dekat hose reel. Dia, because this is 7,200, it is cater for 4 hose reel. Kalau dulu satu hose reel we use for 1,125 liter. You don't understand that. That is the designer ni lah. For the next hose reel dia kita tambah 1,000 lah. But the maximum is 9,100. Now the maximum is 7,250, but you can have more. You can have more and you can have less lah. Kalau less ni maksudnya you will have less than 4 hose reel in a place. Contoh you buat tadi shop lot, end to end, 2 hose reel only, you can make the water tank become smaller lah. But if it's a bigger one, more than 4 hose reel, you can have this as a maximum. And when you ask me, if I use more, what happen? Just semalam saya tanya, how if the fire happen in this room and this room and this room? No, because kita punya assumption, our assumption as a designer, fire happen at one place at one time. Yeah, that is the assumption of the engineer. Yet, Grenfell Tower, it shows that fire can happen at many places at one time because of the material used for the cladding lah. So dekat sini kita nampak for a water component in hose reel water tank, normally it comes with the pump house di belakang ni lah. Yang pump house and And the water tank itself must have a clean ni by structure, but it is requested by the one who build the fostering system. We must request for it by the structure. Clean ni apa tujuan tu? What is the purpose of the clean? Ha? Loading. Loading tank. Loading tank. To ensure the tank is spinning a bit up. Sebab kita punya pump tu kita tak nak dia negative suction kan. Dan kita nak pump ni tinggi sikit daripada dia dah ada feed terus kepada pump lah. Sebab pump pun dia ada clean dia. Kita pun ada bed dia 150. Betul kan? Where kan? Whenever you go to the site you see if you are following our specs, the JKR specs, dia kena ada near pre-pack lagi dekat. Lepas tu ada satu letak lagi cannot give to the pump to protect the pump lah. And also the rantai itself, jadi bila dia bergegar sikit, it's been absorbed by the new pre-pack.
Itu ada tu initial block kan.
Initial block untuk wet riser je sir.
Sprinkler tak ada.
Sprinkler pun ada. Pump-pump yang besar ada. Kalau yang kecil tak ada.
Okay.
Sebab the vibrate, because the initial block, the function of the initial block is to absorb the vibration. Sebab the bigger the pump you have, more vibration you will have. Memang juga kan. If you go, I think you pun dah ada pergi test kan? Pernah test dah?
Pernah.
Pun nak tengok dia punya
Vibration.
kan? Cerita dah.
Cik,
Okay.
di dalam kiranya MS states yang kita boleh pakai ball valve minimum dari 50 mm. Tapi kalau current ni bukan ramai macam pakai gate valve ke selalu. So ini kira supply itu ke atau
Supply in
supply
the tangki.
into the tangki kan?
Ni water supply. Dalam ni dia ball valve dia automatically stop lah. Cuma yang ni memang ball valve saja. Ni manual valve dia, automatic valve dia kat dalam. Dia akan jadi effective capacity dia bukan kat sini tau. Effective capacity dia bawah lagi. Kat sini. But do you all know about effective capacity? Tak mesti. Okay. Saya lukis. Effective capacity maksudnya, if I have a tank, katakanlah normally when you have a tank, kalau dia lebar ni katalah saya ambil dua lah tinggi ni pun dua. So dua panel, it carries about 2.44 kan? If you are using the GI panel lah. Kat sini pun saya ambil 2.44. If kalau dari segi capacity, you darab je ni. Dengan katakan saya ada satu lebar ni 1.2 lah. So kalau saya nak kira how much the volume is, 2.44 times 2.44 times 1.22. But the effective capacity ialah when you put the pipe, bila kita ada outlet, normally the outlet is here. The outlet is here and the inlet is here. Here is the inlet. Yet dekat inlet kita pula ada ball valve. Dia akan stop here. So the water will be here. Yang ni pun the water will be here. Air bawah ni kita tak boleh guna dah. It won't flow. And air di atas ni, ruang tangki ni pun habis. Normally habis lah sebab dia tak boleh isi. So if you are building longer punya, the longer you have, lagi banyak losses you akan dapat lah. Maksudnya kalau lagi mendata you punya tangki tu, you are building, the longer this one will be, lagi banyak capacity you hilang lah. So the effective capacity is here only. this is the effective capacity X times this times this. Ini macam ni semua. X Y this is the effective capacity yang kat tengah-tengah. This is what we meant. You must fulfill first the requirement for 7,200 liter lah. Yes, question.
Tanya lah itu high level kan, bukan overflow.
Ada overflow, ada lagi satu kat sini.
Kalau overflow pun boleh kan?
Overflow
Dia punya effective punya high level dengan low level.
tak boleh.
Mesti mau up bukan tak?
Iya, mesti mau incoming. Incoming dekat ball. This is incoming dekat sini. This is incoming. Alah. This is
Because the
overflow.
incoming is higher than overflow, right?
Sometimes there are ada yang buat incoming kat atas ni. Tengok what type of valve you are using. Sekarang if you ask me, projek saya kadang if you ask me, my project ada kat sini, saya guna kat atas ni, ada kat sini sebab I want to know what is the difference. Sebab I calculate for this one, and sometimes we use ball valve and sometimes we use the pilot valve lah. Depends. Saya tengok duit yang ada dekat projek tu. Depends on me. But then this is the effective capacity. I'm telling you, the effective capacity is here lah. Normally, even though you're putting it here, you also will have the ball here, and you can put this one higher.
I think
Sebab
it's overflow.
this one is overflow.
Yeah. And last time I think it's overflow.
Oh no, it's not overflow. You need to have the capacity inside it because whenever in a normal condition, the overflow is upper than the effective capacity. It's only when this valve is malfunction, then only the water will get overflow. That is the reason why we have overflow lah. This is the effective capacity. Normally, as for me, I'll take 75% to 80% of this capacity is the effective capacity. That is the rule of thumb. Two rule of thumb. Kalau you tengok tangki tu lagi mendata, 75 lah. Kita get that. If it's higher, but that jarang orang buat tangki tu meninggi sebab tinggi selalu paling tinggi 3. Adalah pernah saya buat 4. Mesti kena complain orang. Do you know what is the effect? Kenapa kita tak boleh buat tinggi? Fasad satu. Walaupun dekat luar tak sesuai kita buat tinggi sebab nanti you ask the manufacturer of the panel, dia pun suruh saja buat 3 je. Sebab dia kata kalau the higher you have, the more static pressure yang dia menekan dekat tangki ni, the pressure push outward tu kan. Dia takut nanti tak sesuai lah, rugi maintenance. The best is you have 3 stack. Pernah ada 4 lah. Saya jumpa 4. More than that, saya tak pernah jumpa lagi. If you come across tu, mungkin ada. Kalau tak pun, if you want to be higher, you use RC tank. But nowadays RC tank dah tak popular.
Dia
Tahu sebab dia mahal.
kalau sekarang arsitek pakai organizer dengan speaker. Itu dekat basement lah.
Kalau basement lah.
Tapi untuk yang ni biasa dah naik ke roof. Roof pakai plastik. Sekarang semua dekat roof banyak.
Oh, dekat ni untuk hose reel.
Maksudnya semua dekat roof.
Kalau you letak hose reel dekat roof, sebenarnya you can make gravity flow punya ni. Kalau dulu kita panggil downcomer, but nowadays kalau you can prove with the calculation with the downcomer, you can have all the pressure required by all the hose reel scope, then you can, tak ada masalah. Cuma jarang dah lah. Tapi kalau if you ask me, dalam projek kita kita dah jarang guna RC tank. So RC tank memang ada banyak masalah, drawback dia.
What are you drawback?
Leaking. Leaking. Lepas tu bila dia leak dia akan leak merata-rata.
Mati dia.
And then bila you nak, when you want to treat the leak, cost dia mahal.
Sebab dia nampak kat sini. Sebenarnya bukan kat sini. Air je.
Betul.
Dia tak boleh stop.
Dia kalau atas arsitek bawah pun arsitek ini boleh solve dia masalah.
boleh solve masalah macam ni.
Kalau dia cakap leaking kan, itu AC, itu atas punya itu ada AC punya tank mah. Bawah pun letak satu AC punya tank. Satu sprinkler, satu hot water macam ni lah. Dia kalau leaking dia pun pergi bawah punya AC tank.
Then you have a double cost. It's expensive, bro.
So pun tak susah ini leaking lah.
Dia structure lagi.
So if you are putting 2 tanks, it's a simple mathematics. Normally when we submit a plan to bomber, dia kata, oh, you punya capacity tak cukup, you tambah lah. It's not that easy tambah. I can tambah, bro. I can easily tambah. But then when you go to the structural engineer, dia maki you, you tambah. Dia cakap kan, you tambah. Do you know that I need to have adjustment on the footing of the structure? Sudah kita macam, can we bring the tank outside? Can we bring outside? Betul, that is the dilemma lah. We can have the ideal of it. Cuma as for now, saya dah tak design RC tank. Saya bukanlah suka, saya prefer this one. In term of service, maintenance, this one is better and easier. RC tank, when it leaks, susah dia nak deal. It's hard for you to deal with it lah. Because kalau RC tank, you akan ada opening kat atas ni ataupun you akan buat kat sini. So the effective capacity will be less lah. But then when you want to go inside, dah satu hassle pula lagi. You need to have a permit to work in a confined space. That is the reason why I choose this tank lah. But yet, it is still permitted to use RC tank. It is not it is not kesalahan lah kalau you nak buat RC tank. Sebab kalau sprinkler tu saya faham dia besar. Yet kalau nak buat RC tank terus kan, kas satu kali. Tapi dari segi maintainability, this is easier lah. As for my experience, if you have ada experience but you adalah expert untuk service RC tank, then you kata RC tank lagi mudah lah. Macam tu lah. Tapi expert to service RC tank tak mahal. You tahu kalau macam tangki Syabas, elevated water tank, do you know how they used to clean it? Macam mana dia clean kan? Pernah tengok? Tak tahu. Dia tak tahu juga. Saya ada kawan which is diver. Dia dapat job to clean that tank tau. Dia dive dalam tu untuk cuci. Dia cuci, dia akan overflow. There is an overflow pipe. Of course, dia ada satu buka overflow pipe, dia drain pipe bawah. Kat sini kan. Kat sini nampak. Dekat sini dia ada drain valve, dia cuci. So all the dirt akan turun dengan air di drain this pipe. Tapi dia menyelam tau, and it's not murah tau. Sebab dia menyelam equipment and all the risk is there. Dia kata menyelam dalam tangki, the elevator of the tank is scarier than you dive in a sea. Sebab dia totally dark. Saya tak pernah menyelam, saya pandai menyelam kat kolam je. That is just to share the experience lah. Tapi memang ada, dan saya pun tak terfikir sehingga saya jumpa that brother lah. Dia kata, oh dia menyelam. Menyelam apa dia? Sekarang ni tengah dapat job menyelam tangki. Menyelam tangki? Yang tangki yang kadang-kadang dah berpuluh tahun tak servis. Kejut saya. Baru lagi saya tahu, last year je saya tahu. Saya pun kejut sampai, tak nak terfikir kan. Saya macam, oh, okay, rupanya tu pun duit tu. Tapi you need to have all the license lah, diving license and also yang requirement to have work permit in confined space, work permit in high place area. Ada 2 work permit yang kena ada kat situ lah. That is just another sharing . So next, after water pump, we need to have a hose reel water tank. Now we're going to look at the hose reel pump. For the horse wheel pump, it is required to deliver a flow not less than 0.5 liter per second or 30 liter per minute for one horse wheel. So, the horse wheel pump shall be able to supply for 4 most remote horse wheel simultaneously. Maksudnya, kita buka 4 horse wheel secara serentak. In the old standards, bukan this year punya standard, we test for 2 horse wheel open secara serentak. In the old standard, but the new standard it say 4 lah, 4. So from this calculation kita tahu 30 liter per minit, 30 liter per minute you times by 60, how much you get? Ada phone, tekan phone-nya. How much you get? 30 liter times 60, how much you get? 60, 60 minit, 1 jam. 1008 times 4, 7,200. That is where the maximum capacity of the horse wheel is there. Tu tadi water tank kan. How you get the 7,200? This is because of this requirement lah. So from the calculation, if we do the design, we design for the pump to cater 4 horse wheel at the most remote area to operate at this flow rate. So untuk pump horse wheel ni, there are electrical pumps and there are diesel pumps. Kenapa ada electrical? Kenapa ada diesel?
Takut tak ada api.
Okay, betul? Takut tak ada api. Tapi there are horse wheel, they have electrical and electrical.
Ya,
Why?
tak bala.
Dapat then dua-dua electrical.
I also
Because kalau you tengok the detail drawing, you will see that the other horse wheel will have the essential power supply. Essential power supply mean supply from the genset. So if that project got genset and the engineer asked the electrical, the fire safety engineer asked the electrical engineer to give supply to the horse wheel pump, surely one of the pump will have essential power supply. That is because that is the reason why you will have 2 electric pumps lah, pump set. Normally kalau projek yang kecil, if you have 1 diesel, 1 electrical, normally there is no genset at the building lah. Kalau you perasan, genset dengan pump elektrik yang mana? Gimana? Genset pula. Diesel pump dengan electric pump. Which one is diesel? Diesel. Ha? No, diesel. Ni pun tangki kecil ni, dia sepatutnya dia depan tangki dia tu. From the picture you can see that kalau you dah pergi kat site you akan tengok lah. Tapi saya pun if you manage to have a good picture at the site, you ambil lah. Why? Dah 13 tahun saya bekerja, susah saya nak cari gambar yang cantik. Melainkan you memang ask them to cuci boleh cantik. Kalau tak foto je. Can you see from this picture what is not correct? What is not the good engineering practice there? Batu. Ni pun dah bagus saya. Tak apa dah nak buat.
Kalau nak turun kepada dia, masa kita
ANC, hangover kan? Setuju tak?
lepas tu kita nak training pun, dari awal kita datang ke room, dan
Tinggal.
tu nak kena cuci semua.
Itu sekejap je keadaan semua.
Time tu boleh tangan apa? Time tu pergi.
If you have that good picture kan, if you have that good picture, keep it and post it in the internet, please. So that we will have others. You try to search for a good horse wheel pump. Memang susah. Lagi-lagi Malaysia punya ni lah. Kalau overseas punya dia dah nampak berbeza dah. Pump ni warnanya lain, a bigger pump it is there. And the diesel arrangement is a bit different lah. For Malaysian, because you all involved in testing and commissioning also right. So ambil lah gambar. Saya personally don'ts is more than do lah. Maksudnya gambar, if you talk about do's and don'ts kan, don'ts je you can show. All the do you cannot show. How is the do? People will always ask, yang macam mana patutnya do, yang macam mana patut kita buat. You sepatutnya buat ni, kena ada gambar lah. Tapi saya pun susah nak cek gambar tu. Banyak lah site saya pergi. Tapi site lama lah gambar projek susah. Because people tend to put everything inside this pump room. When they are doing their job, semua penduduk kat sini. Dia punya scope lah, dia punya bahan-bahan lain tu. Macam mana saya tadi?
Kadang-kadang kita buat APM, kita tak ada hal itu.
Situ lah yang maksud.
Problem lah.
Betul.
Macam
Cuma tak boleh. But that is the reality. If you have the good picture, post it for me please. Okay. This is a requirement for the pump set of hose reel. Got any question for? Okay, so now you know kita ada 30 liter per minute and 4 pump, and from here you can calculate the water tank punya size. If you are asked to design go down ataupun gudang, gudang ataupun a storage place, you might have more hose reel when you put the fire safety objective as life safety and property protection. If it is for property protection, you can have more hose reel. Sebab apa? Dekat gudang, it is an open space. You can have more people to operate more hose reel in one fire. Okay, the arrangement of the hose reel location kita akan tengok kejap lagi. Cuma saya nak bagi tahu the capacity for the tank for this one 7,200 is for 4 hose reel, right? If you design tadi dekat gudang, you kata this gudang got a very hazardous, very high load for the fire load, and you kata we need to have 6 hose reel to operate at one time. So you can upsize the water tank by that calculation lah. 30 liter per minute times 60 minutes 1 hour times the number of hose reel lah. Then you have the tank capacity. You can have more, but then you need to justify with bomber lah. This is the design part times number of hose reel. Number of hose reel. Kalau contoh, for example, you require 6 hose reel. 6 hose reel. Berapa capacity tank dia? Berapa? 10,000?
10,800.
Liter kan?
Ya.
Liter sebab liter. So, dalam EBBL baru dia dah clear cut lah. Maknanya if you are expecting more hose reel to operate, then you need to add up the capacity lah. Kalau macam dulu dia kata maximum 9,100 tu boleh cater for no matter how much hose reel you want to operate. Tapi dekat sini dia dah spell out hose reel pump shall be able to supply 4 hose reel, kan? 4. Tapi kalau you dah design for 6, you can have more lah. Tangki pun you dah size up balik, pump pun you size up balik.
So tangki tu maximum dia
For 4 hose reel, kalau you expect for 4, 7,000. Kalau you buat building office, tak ada issue. Tapi tadi macam saya cakap, when we design, we are designing for the life safety purpose. Sekarang ni, kalau you nak property protection, of course dalam dekat gudang tadi macam saya ajar semalam, kita akan ada perbezaan dekat dia punya objektif tu. Kalau you punya objektif just for life safety, follow bomber punya requirement, you just put 4 lah. Tapi if you want to have more, dalam cerita you have ada gudang penyimpanan bahan-bahan yang mudah terbakar, kertas yang boleh basah ke apa kan, then you want to design more, then that is the way how you resize the tank lah. Kalau tak, kalau you nak normal practice dia, you put 7,200 tadi. Question?
I
Wondering.
My site use how many hostel? 8 hostel.
8 hostel. What is the size of the tank?
Size of the tank also
9,100.
no, but the size of the tank, the capacity, he say is a 10,000 like that, but the size of the tank only 2 by 2 by 2 only.
2 by 2 by 2 should be only 4.
Oh yeah, right.
2 by 2 by 2, 2.2, 2.44 times 2.44 times 2.44.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But
So what would you get? 2 times 44. Cuba kita tengok case study. Dari case study 2.44 times 2.44 times 2.44. What do you get?
14
Times 0.8. That is the effective capacity.
11.6.
11.6 besar. Meaning to say it cater more than 9,100 capacity lah. That is the maximum number lah. You have more than maximum. Boleh. Horse relay tak ada isu. Tak, lebih boleh, kurang tak boleh. Sebab kalau you bagi kurang, takut air tak cukup kan, tengah yang padam api. Sampai sejam padam. Alamak, bukan api yang padam, air yang padam. That is the bad thing about it lah. That is horse rate. That is how you size up the tangki and the pump lah. So the pump need to have yang ni, nanti you kena tengok lah berapa lagi jarak dia. Okay. Pump, the other requirement for pump is it must provide a jet of approximately 6 meter throw for each hose reel. Pressure of 2 bars at entry of any 4 hose reel at entry. Having 2 sets of pump duty and standby, where the standby pump shall have essential power supply. Macam ni, for this picture you can see that the diesel tank has been separate from the things lah, the adding tank for the diesel tank, the smaller diesel tank here. So this engine, for the diesel engine to operate the pump, must also have a capacity of a diesel tank that can ensure that this pump work in an hour. An hour lah, not less than that. Kalau you kata tangki tu kecil, dia you buat macam ni, can this tank ensuring this pump operate in 1 hour? You ask the designer lah. Kalau dia tangki tu kecil, boleh ke? Nanti banyak projek ini kan. Kalau tak nampak kan. Then you pun tak tahu, you code je. Oh, dia dah design macam ni. Yang ni rupanya this is just for operating 45 minutes. Tak cukup lagi, another 15 minutes. Kena tambah lah. Macam tu lah. Tapi memang ada yang memang kapasiti dia cukup untuk 1 jam. But then dia ada lagi, nanti engineer akan kira lah. Dia macam ada beberapa faktor lagi untuk diesel lah. When you store diesel, of course dia percentage of the diesel akan meruap ataupun kering.
Sekarang macam kita standby ke semua pakai essential, right?
Tak, macam saya cakap tadi, there are projects. Maksud essential ni boleh jadi diesel atau ni lah, electric genset.
Sekarang diesel tu tak ada lah, diesel pump.
Ada? Masih ada. Kalau projek yang tak ada genset, dia tetap ada diesel sebab dia tak ada essential power supply yang lain. Macam ni you can have an essential power supply kalau you tak ada genset, tak ada.
Kan? Sebenarnya sekarang kita punya sistem dua pump ni semua supply daripada
Essential.
Dia bukan daripada normal. Kan ada dua, essential dengan normal. Essential, kalau dia ada problem, semua akan cut dan dia akan masuk start. Okay. So maknanya sekarang semua fire yang related dengan fire semua akan pakai essential mode. Maknanya essential supply. So maknanya dua-dua tu dah tak ada normal supply ke.
Betul. That is when the contractor quote lah. Sebab it's easier to do lah, sebab you pun nak manage susah. Tapi in the design part, kita tak buat dua-dua pergi supply essential. We just do one essential supply. Sebab when we talk about essential supply, you kena size up the genset accordingly. Kalau dua-dua tu pergi, padahal saya pun tak tahu why the electrical engineer used to have. Kalau kita bagi dua pump, dua-dua load dikira. Saya tak tahu kenapa. Sedangkan kita dah bagi tahu capacity for the operating parts is only one pump will operate lah.
Cuma kalau dia want betul saya want sebenarnya.
Betul.
Tapi kalau kita buat satu essential, satu
normal,
panel tu lain.
betul. That's the difference. Sebab you cut off dekat panel tu. But in the standard, saya spell out dia satu essential power supply must be one essential. Kenapa dia sebut kat sini the standby saya di essential power sebab ni lah in case of no genset. In case of no genset, then you need to have essential which is diesel lah. Okay. Tapi tak betul lah tu. Banyaknya macam tu. Projek saya pun saya ikut satu non essential sebab dari segi design we follow the standard, but then on the implementation bila they come to the board, both essential can accept also. Sebab essential dia satu board je. Essential ni one board only. Bila dia cut off, the essential trigger. Satu senang lah. Kalau you pecah-pecah, leceh. Dua board you kena have. Design nak tu macam ni. So now you know lah. Alright. Okay. This is the force control element. Dan yang ni kita boleh, we can see in the pump house lah. There are pressure gauge, there are standby pressure switch here. This pressure switch are controlling the one duty pump and the other standby pump lah. Kalau pressure drop up to 60 and more than 80, 60 dia akan turun trigger the other pump lah. Kalau duty tu 80% ke 90%. Nah, other than that, ni yang saya cakap tadi, essential power supply dengan non-essential power supply semuanya bergantung dekat board ni lah. At this board, you can do a selector the auto or manual switch, and then here you can see the electrical control switch, the indicator light, whereas and the other part is push that button lah for you to test the pump. Okay, this is the fittings. Normally we can see these fittings inside the pump house. Kalau macam ni, both of it is electrical pump. So dekat ni project yang ada essential electrical supply. So this project have genset. This is where how you are going to fit all the fittings lah. So you are going to have the strainer. Pas ada strainer just nak tanya, when you put in a strainer macam ni betul ke sini? Is it like this in the picture or like that? Ni incoming daripada sini. Dia menghala incoming ke melawan incoming? Kalau macam ni kita melawan lah kan. Kalau macam ni kita sahaja dengan incoming. Ni betul ke salah? Soalan. Incoming dari sini. Kami going through here.
Betul.
Betul.
Sebab dia
betul. Kalau dia terbalik tu dia tak trap lah. It will trap di apa dia panggil kekotoran sampah dalam tu lah. And then we will have flexible here and here. The flexible joint lah. Tadi saya cakap ada new prepare. Ni pun sama. Project ni, this is the best picture that I have. Cantik kan. Nowadays there are some contractors lah. There are some contractors yang buat nanti dia paint all of this with epoxy paint. Dia nampak cantik, kemas lah, kemas. There are a good contractor yang kata dia dah quote everything in lah. Price, so of course price matter kan. And check valve here and wet valve here. Rubber isolator saya cakap here lah. Absorb the what? The vibration. Dekat sini dah saya tengok dekat eccentric.
Ada.
Sini. Eccentric. Eccentric dan eccentric. Pernah tahu eccentric dengan eccentric tu?
Konsentrik ke? Konsentrik sama dengan
Concentric, eccentric bukan concentric. Concentric,
tak, konsentrik sama dengan
yang sama. Lagi satu eccentric yang concentric macam ni,
angle.
eccentric dia macam ni. Kan? Kenapa kita boleh order benda tu?
Sebab position pump dengan entry pipe tu.
Kat sini kan, biasanya kat sini, dekat sini, dia masuk kat sini.
So ni
Kalau
eccentric.
tuan perasan masa dia install dia ada dua. Eccentric tu dia ada dua. Satu eccentric supply dengan satu concentric. What is the difference? Eccentric tu dia macam ni. Ada satu tu dia straight tapi dia macam ni. Ada satu lagi dia macam ni. Selalunya kita masuk air dari sini. Sini masuk kat sini ada power. Masuk dalam pump lah. Satu ni dah keluar dari pump keluar. Dia bagi. Kenapa kita kenal dia ni?
Reduce daripada size of the pump.
Dia bukan setakat reduce saja. Kalau you nak reduce, you boleh also pakai ni.
Oh,
You
ya.
set up. Tapi you nak juga pakai ni.
Sebab dia punya position pipe dia.
Position pipe pun betul. Cuma alasan dia untuk guna ni adalah to ensure that there will have no bubble here. Bila ada bubble dalam pump, ada cavity dia panggil, that one will damage the pump lah. Cavity ataupun air cavity tu okay kan, sebab dia can build up pressure 1.5% more than yang sepatutnya. Sama juga kalau you pernah dengar istilah water hammer. Water hammer, water hammer normally happen bila kita tutup air dalam yang laju-laju tu, bila kita tutup terus kan, boom, dia bunyi kan. Sebenarnya ada airlock dalam tu. Airlock tu, di airlock yang menyebabkan pipe pecah. Normally pipe syabas lah. Pipe kita tinggi. Kalau saya ada steam. Sebab airlock dekat syabas tu besar, dia punya syabas punya pipe pressure too high bro. Dengan tu dia bukan cerita macam hidup ni. That's why bila ada airlock tu, you build 1.5 more than it is required. Bukan 1.5, up to 12 kalau tak salah saya. Dia punya pressure, bila ada airlock tu, the pressure there jadi build up more, tu yang boleh burst. Itu kita, bila kita guna eccentric ni, dia akan reduce lah, no bubble lah going here lah. So bubble will trap before this lah. Dia takkan masuk dalam propeller. That is the idea of it lah. Yeah. Okay, component hose wheel, and then we have a hose wheel pipes. Hose wheel pipe kalau dekat luar black pipe pun boleh pakai lah. Tapi kalau project government, they will allow you to use a black pipe. The minimum is GI class C. That is the minimum. So you will have a differ in the price lah. Yet it is still allowable to use the steel pipe lah. Steel pipe, black steel boleh. Hose wheel drum. Hose wheel drum normally kita gunakan the length 30 meter lah, and the bore is 33 mm normally lah. But you need to ensure that the reel shall rotate around spindle maximum diameter of 800, inside segment 2 mm, inside one lah. Able to swing minimum 170. This one and this one selalunya kita test dekat size. Size ni normally dia by the supplier lah. Ni kita test swing dengan rotate with the spindle lah. So why we need to have the swing? Because we need to ensure that the hose wheel can stretch to its maximum to get the place where it need to be lah. Okay? Kan semalam kita kata hose wheel, kalau kita nak design, kita just buat diameter. Tapi bila on the real cases, it's not diameter. You tarik hose wheel daripada bilik ni, lalu keluar, sangkut lagi kat pintu, nak pandang bilik sebelah, turn around right. It's not just you going straight. That's the difference. And also you got a shut off nozzle, shut off, spray and jet. Macam tadi kat tadi, spray dia boleh besar lah, jet. If you When you have a jet, you need to have jarak sebanyak 6 meter lah. Designing a hose reel system. To design a hose reel system, you need to follow DMS 1489 lah. First, what you need to do is to identify the need of hose reel. So we check in Schedule 10 in UBPL 1984 whether the building need to have a hose reel or not. And after that, we need to set the location of the seating, the hose reel by determining the location for the hose reel itself. And then we have to have the water capacity, how much the water capacity is. I've done it here, so this is how we calculate, but we can have the maximum capacity of 7,200. And the pump sizing. The pump sizing, the arrangement of the pipe route, and calculate the pump size for the water delivery. Okay, after we check the schedule 10 schedule in UBPL, we can ensure that whether the building have the hose reel or not. Kalau macam building yang kecil, for sure we don't have the hose reel, right? Ada some shop lot require no hose reel at all. There are hot shop lot yang kena ada hose reel. If you have more than 1,000, if I'm not mistaken, ada dekat belakang dia punya staff, tapi cakap apa sikit.
Dia punya tu setengah sekarang setengah saya dulu.
Masih
Manual rasa.
30 meter is a diameter.
Masih lagi sekarang masih lagi.
Masih 30 meter. Masih 30 meter is the diameter for the hose lah. You can stretch that hose. Okay. To design a hose reel system, the hose reel location nowadays you need to have this arrangement lah. This is the for open site, open parking ataupun gudang yang open. Maksudnya when you design an open space yang besar, this is how you arrange the hose reel lah. The hose reel must have overlap like this. So the distance between the hose reel can be given is 48 meter. And for this new requirement, I've attached in the notes at the back yang surat yang telah dikeluarkan oleh pihak bomber about this arrangement lah. Yang mana they allow for this arrangement. Kalau dulu we need to have 30 meter, this house reel to this house reel, it must be located at 30 meters, not more than 30 meter. Now they are allowing for 48 meter for open spaces lah. Saya baca tu. Hose reel should be provided at the rooftop of M&E. For the new Malaysian standard, sekarang ni hose reel kena ada dekat rooftop. Kalau kita ada M&E room dekat atas, hose reel kena ada lah. Kalau sebelum ni, normally kita design up till the habitable area lah. Maksudnya area yang digunakan oleh orang. If we have a M&E at the top of our building, normally they are non-habitable area. So kita tak letak hose reel kan. But for the new requirement, we need to have the hose reel lah. Yang ni you boleh check yang paling baru lah. If it's a new submission, you kena ensure that they are following this law. It can be taken within 6 meter in each part of the room. However you arrange the hose reel, dia kena boleh masuk 6 meter dalam bilik. Maksudnya kalau hose reel daripada luar sana, kena boleh sampai kat sini dalam bilik ni. In each part of the room. But whenever you are the designer, kadang-kadang you tak ada pun party wall ni, belum ada lagi. So how you can design? There are syarat yang bomber dah tetapkan, there are regulation yang bomber dah tetapkan. You can make the hose reel punya jarak tu 2/3 of this 48. So it is 32. Bukan 30 lah, 32 boleh lebih 2 meter. 2/3. Cuba kira ke tak? 2/3 of 48 is 32. Betul. So that is where you can use it lah. This is the second requirement. Seated 5 meter from exit door, but not inside the exit staircase. Dia tak boleh inside exit staircase lah. You cannot put the hose reel inside the staircase. It must be outside the staircase. Yang can inside the staircase is for bomber nanti lah. Open spaces hose reel should have be space not more than 48 meters. This is the requirement lah. Ya, ni saya attachkan you all. Where If we stated by this, kita tengok bomber dah keluarkan ada surat tu lah, say the attachment surat. Host wheel location seated at a prominent and accessible position adjacent to exit in corridors or exit route. Maksudnya host wheel ni must be positioned where it is easily accessed for the occupant. You jangan pergi sorok host wheel gila-gila, maksudnya sampai orang nak cari pun susah. Sebab normally architect they would like the host wheel sebab it's not nice to see. It's not that aesthetic. But as an engineer yang memahami jiwa arkitek, you need to understand lah. If you are the designer, kalau one day you become the designer, if you are the one who want to install it, maybe you can suggest to the designer kan. Sebab some of the designer might be new. Kalau yang all designer yang dah hotai, dia macam dia akan minta recess lah. Recess ni dia akan minta kat architect put up box inside so that you flush off lah. Jadi dia ada sign dia kat situ. Tapi tu pun ada requirement dia, need to ensure that the house can be pulled out. But it still look nice. But normally the younger designer dia it's okay to put outside and house wheel tu, but then you need to advise lah. Tak cantik macam tu. Saya ada satu box, if you have come to design a box yang cantik untuk house wheel, then you can forward to the architect. House wheel located within a room should not use to cover outside the room. Maksudnya, kalau kita ada satu house wheel, if we install a house wheel that cover within a room. For example, for instance, in this room, we can open the door. There is a house wheel inside here. The house wheel inside this room that cover throughout all the room lah, cannot be used to cover outside of the room. Maksudnya kawasan luar tu you need to have another house wheel to cater for the area lah. Tapi dari segi design, somehow or other you pun tak tahu ni adalah bilik, tak ada bilik. So you will make the house wheel arrangement the 32 tadi lah, 48 tadi kan. So you ambil 2/3, you pun buat macam tu. Macam tu dia punya konsep design lah. Kalau yang tu tadi dia for open space. Jadi for a building, kita tak declare dia sebagai open space. It's a partition kita declare. Tapi partition arrangement ni, kalau you pernah deal dengan arkitek, dia bukan terus siap semua. Dia dah construction separuh bangunan tu baru okay, this is the partition look like. Kalau masa tu you baru nak mohon bomba punya kelulusan, baru you nak tender, you all nak code sampai bila? Betul kan? Yang installer, they also want to know what is the bigger size of the pipe, how is the arrangement, where should be the opening is, and what is the type of the installation that the NSC wants to install. Banyak benda. Jadi so normally designer dia akan use the rule tadi lah, 2/3 tadi. So daripada situ you akan nampak there will be a different lah. Ada dia kalau projek tu kecil, shop plot yang kecil senang lah kita boleh siapkan lah. Tapi kalau macam office yang besar, if you're talking about office like bangunan guna sama kerajaan yang ada jabatan, contoh jabatan pendaftaran, ada custom, every department have their own setting of office. Memang you got headache. You nak settlekan arrangement office tu pun dah you tak tidur malam lah if you dah architect. As an engineer, je senyum je lah kau fikir kan. Orang yang nak code lagi lah, kau siap design lagi, kita code je. Macam tu lah, that's the different lah. House wheel, there are hardly seen the signage should be located at the high level lah. Macam tadi, kalau kita ada house wheel dekat macam bibeli tadi kan, di kat dalam tu kita kena letak kat atas. Kat bibeli tu tinggi dia letak, tapi yet ini adalah apa yang tertulis dalam standard. Tapi there are some yang macam arguable for people like me lah, orang yang memahami api tadi. When you put at a very high place, how can you see if the smoke is accumulate there kan? You pun dah faham kan, the smoke will accumulate at the top first. If you put at a very high place, then susah lah, kita tak nampak lah. Dalam kebakaran lah kan, konon nak jadi hero, tak ada lah. Itulah tadi, that's the difference lah. In the open area, hose reel can be installed at a height not more than 1.7 nozzle, but guide the inlet valve must be at 900 from floor level. So, ni kan yang tuan tanya semalam. Kalau dekat IKEA Damansara, dia punya hose reel ni atas stol. Betul kan? Pernah nampak kan? IKEA pernah pergi kan? IKEA pernah pergi kan? Okay, IKEA pernah pergi. Have you go to IKEA, brother?
Ya, Pak.
But you didn't see the hose reel. Come on, you are the one who called for it. Come on. Kalau if you come yesterday, you akan macam semua kita nak tengok. So when you see that is too high, I think lebih 2 meter. Tak adalah 2 meter, tapi hampir kot 2 meter sebab saya try kat pergi. Tinggi je. Tinggi tu kan. But then this is the new regulation lah. You can only have a maximum of 1.7. 1.7. Saya lah, saya 170. Sini lah paling tinggi lah. Not more than this lah. So hose reel will be here, and the hose need to have 900 here. This is the maximum now. So there will no more hose reel at the higher level. Tak boleh.
Tengok sekarang macam kapal. Bawah ni dia ada lagi. Tengok ada
betul. That's why they are putting that up lah. Sebenarnya that is this law and regulation, it can be amended. It can be amended. Macam yang ni dia dah berubah. Sebab bomber punya concern, bila kecemasan kita tarik-tarik tak sampai tadi 6 meter. Kita punya concern, engineer punya concern, kalau satu-satu tu menyusahkan orang awam, menyusahkan orang ramai, kita as an engineer, kita punya ethics, we do something that is everybody. That is engineer punya ethics. Dia akan memudahkan orang lain. Bila kita tahu that is the problem, alihlah. Tapi kalau macam tak boleh alih ke atas, you alihlah ke bahagian yang boleh. Lebih tricky lah, tricky. You need to have all the plan. Kalau you have one column, maybe instead of putting it on the front part, you might put it on the other part. That is only the designer can decide lah. Somehow, bila kita dah put, kalau you all dekat side nampak ada yang boleh improve, then you tell the designer. Yes sir.
Saya pernah tengok satu building kan. Dia hose reel, dia dekat itu parking area. Dia letak dekat itu dia punya dinding. Sini dinding mak. Sini dia boleh tengok luar ni. Dia letak atas.
Oh, parapet. Ada. Saya pun ada jumpa. Bangunan lama lah, tapi yang saya jumpa bangunan lama.
Bukan bangunan lama.
Yang saya pernah jumpa bangunan lama because dia dah tak ada tempat dia nak letak. But if it's a new one, normally jarang lah kita letak. Sebab when you put hose reel there, you punya structure nak pegang tu dia dah ada beban yang berbeza. Normally when you do a parapet, kan kalau kita tengok parking kan, ada open space parking, there are wall sampai ni. Wall sampai ni, that is what we call parapet lah. Parapet wall. Parapet ni, dia sebenarnya dia tak ada load pun. Kalau you langgar dengan kereta, you boleh pecah je langgar dengan kereta. Jadi kalau you put hose reel there, hose reel is a load. Dia kena kira lain dah. Dia tak adalah dengar berat sangat, tapi you dah kena ada. Normally structure engineer dia dah lah, you letak something yang I dah letak design for lah. Macam tu. But then if you put, tak salah kalau it is being catered from the early stage of it. But then make sure lah the hose reel is not located inside the egress, lobby, ataupun tu adalah lorong kecemasan like we show yesterday. And then you put hose reel just next to the door, that make the door width become smaller. That's not acceptable lah. You ada lah hose reel tu, bang hose reel tu. Ini orang gila kan, install hose reel depan pintu. Pintu kecemasan kan. Sebab yesterday you miss it lah. You shame lah. So pintu kecemasan must be clear width tu. Dia tak boleh kurang. Even though we are the installer for active system, ingat you must aware of it. So crucial. So this is the new regulation yang saya cakap semalam kan, yang pasal hose reel lah. Okay, now we are going to the design of hose reel. Okay, the hose reel pump size. So to calculate the pump size, you will have the static head. Static head is berapa jarak ketinggian ni, and the discharge head, we have discharge head 2 bar yang dah catered dalam tu tadi kita dah spell out dalam Malaysian standard. And then the suction head plus delivery head lah. Delivery head kita pipe loss lah. Kalau panjang pipe ni 100 meter, so you need to cater for 100 meter punya losses lah. That is the calculation of pump. Normally this is been done by the mechanical engineer lah. Normally mechanical engineer can calculate easily this pump. Kau faham? Boleh kira kot, faham? Boleh kira pump. Belajar kan? Belajar kan? Belajar. Ni belajar. Dia rule of thumb dia, rule of thumb. How you check? Normally ni jarang lah engineer nak ajar sebab kadang-kadang you punya rule of thumb ada banyak consideration lain lagi lah. Kalau tinggi bangunan tu 30 kaki, this pump head must be more than 30 feet lah. Kalau tinggi bangunan 30 kaki tapi you punya pump head 25 kaki, something wrong with the engineer. Okay? Sebab you tengok static head delivery. Static head ni adalah ketinggian bangunan tu sendiri. It must be more than that. Kalau bangunan tu kita tengok tak berapa panjang, maksudnya stretch bangunan tu just about 60 meter, you can add another 20% from the height of the building, that will be the head lah. Kalau terlalu panjang, maybe you can add another 30 to 40%. That is the rule of thumb. Okay? Rule of thumb ni can be right, can be wrong. Depends on the situation. So the best thing is you calculate accordingly lah. You kira pipe ni size berapa. Itu pipe losses inside the pipe, you know right? Kalau pipe bila ada air lalu, there will be a losses because of the friction in the pipe. You boleh kira either you want to use a table or you are using Hazen-Williams punya calculation lah. Saya nak tunjuk detail, tak boleh lah saya boleh panggil rumah ni. If you want to do it lebih detail lah, ni pun dah pukul 10:30. Saya tak sempat nak because it's not cater for the up calculation lah. You can ask me, you can, kita boleh time minum nanti lah kot. Saya boleh tunjuk siapa yang berminat lah. So you all code for it kan. Okay, this is the formula for it. It's just a simple formula, and yet horse wheel yang paling senang kita nak kira lah. Okay, next the conclusion lah ni. Ada saya ambil gambar punya. Nampak? This is where the horse wheel is being camouflaged by the mural. Dia buat jadi cantik kan. Walaupun horse wheel tu terjojol kat luar, tapi dia pergi lukis ni, dia jadi kemas lah. This is one of the good idea for it lah. Ini dah sangat lah. But then this is how you do it. You can ask them lah. Kalau ada box yang boleh nampak sama macam putih, it's better. Dia boleh sebab dia tak nak kereta. Tapi ni bukan saya dah check, ni bukan apa safety egress punya lobby jadi memang kat luar ni. Dia kata cik ni macam egress lah, dah sudah jawab. Macam tu lah. Okay, as a for conclusion, we review first the content, whether we have covered the content. First, the introduction, design and standards we have catered. So horse wheel is designed for Malaysian standard 148, 147 and 149. The second one, component in horse wheel system. What is the component in horse wheel system? We have water tank. We have, what is it? Pump. Then one more, horse wheel. Okay, that is the component of horse wheel. Then you know how to calculate the pump. And as for the conclusion, horse wheel system is vital to ensure that the fire can be distinguished by the occupant at the early stage. Okay? A good design of horse wheel will help on reducing the fire risk. That's all. Do you have any other question? No question. If you got another question, cepat dulu boleh. Now we take 5 before we masuk topik yang baru. Boleh lihat ke
Tak tak boleh take 5, kena take at least 10 minutes ataupun 15.
Kena 15 minutes. Kita ambil 15 minutes, we come back at 10:45 lah. Sebab kalau saya sampai pukul 11 nanti quiz jadi macam semalam lambat. Kita nak makan kat sini. Tak nak lambat sangat.
Boleh makan kat bawah ya,
Boleh makan kat bawah lah.
ataupun kalau nak minum kopi dengan tea depannya pun boleh. Boleh
Oh, ada.
Ha.
Oh, okey.
Minumlah dulu. Lain design. Projek biasa lah kan, macam tu kan pasing-pasing kan. Bila dah saya jaga SIM, patutnya saya check lagi design pun. Jadi dah nak change, air tak sampai lah pun. Tak sampai, tak logik ni tak sampai air. Tanya berapa saiz pump? Pump head dia 20 meter. Tinggi baru kan 30 meter. Aduh, macam tu je. Ya betul, kau salah kod. Cik, buka balik dokumen, tengok balik design calculation. Lah macam mana design dia? Dia boleh design 20 meter, bangunan dia tinggi dia dah 30 meter. Tak payah kira dah kan. Aduh, dia lepas belum off. Matilah dia. Paksa kira balik.
So tak boleh continue KMC lagi.
Tak salah. Smoke kan itu. Kalau smoke ni sebab bomba tu dia pergi ubah apa arkitek dia ubah ceiling tu sulit sekali lah. Kalau yang ni kesian saya kena lama kena korek kan. Alah nak korek-korek ni. Alvin, salahnya saya pergi sign yang last sebelum tender tu saya tak check dia punya drawing. Aduh mental tu.